Yeah, no fuck. What the fuck?
Took me serious. Hello all, and welcome to the Proudland show, where it's all of
all of proud,
and half of me.
Okay.
I figure I'll be half paying attention anyway. Just because you ramble.
Like really funny. That was good.
You ramble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was
sometimes a zone. So
this is like okay.
This is how we're gonna bring it in for the first time. This is our inaugural episode.
I feel brought.
You feel brought? I feel like yeah, you were definitely carried the way here. The Proudland show. All of you, half of me. The best tagline there is.
Yeah.
But we wanted to Proud and I especially. I don't know. We have this naggy bond, I guess you'd say, where, I don't know.
Why naggy? That seemed like a word
because
you just pulled out of your ass.
Anytime I talk to you, I feel like I need to nag at you for some reason. I have no idea why. I just kind of want to be naggy toward you. I don't know. I feel like that's the best way.
That explains a lot of my relationships.
Yeah, like I just kind of nag it. Like I hear you and I just kind of want to, nag at things. And that's why, jokes get
This
old.
is like a really, okay.
This is like really what?
No, don't worry about it. We'll just keep going.
Just keep going? Okay, well, yeah, no, it's a good relationship. It's a good naggy relationship. Proud.
Okay.
Proud is usually, there's serious proud and there's not serious proud. Serious proud is, serious proud, which is...
Can we call him Flappy?
We can call serious proud Flappy. Yeah, Flappy's a guy that, will tell you immediately if he's not in the mood for that naggy Roland or Naggyland. You know
what
I
world
mean?
do you live in?
A weird
This is just
one.
weird. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
anyway.
really
So
weird one.
what is this show about?
The show is
Idiot.
about highly tangentalizing. The show is about you and I, but we do have a topic that we're going to bring to you guys today.
El Topico.
Which is the Offlane and what the Offlane means.
What even is an offlane?
I mean,
so
it sounds stupid to, I'm sure, a lot of our listeners, because you guys have your own pre-built notions of what the Offlane is, but it doesn't mean you're right. Because
in fact, it'll probably mean you're wrong.
In fact, I think maybe a lot of people are wrong, and I know I am, and I know somebody who's just starting is, and
don't say that.
I know that even you are wrong from time to time.
Oh my god.
I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure you say wrong stuff. But
I'm never wrong. Flappy, that motherfucker's wrong all the time.
Flappy.
That Flappy piece of shit? Oh my god, don't get
Flappy.
me started.
No, serious? No, I think serious proud is where the best Dota comes from, or Flappy.
I don't know, man. Flappy's a hell of a drug. Don't want to see you get it on Flappy.
But it's nice. Flappy lets you know where you stand.
Oh god.
No, that's exactly how I'll hit my mic a few times.
Well, I mean, I'm just not used to it in this position.
No, but we're definitely here to bring you something that is going to be, probably a little bit over the top, seeing as we are probably... Apparently on Wednesday they were talking shit on us. Apparently.
Oh yeah, no, I
heard. I didn't even listen to it. I heard a description where the whole thing was about us. And
well, there was a full section where they were just jerking themselves off about how borderline sane they are in comparison, which is really not saying that much. But
they're
we're wild and kooky and crazy. Whoa, watch out! It's Flappy, like etc.
I look at it as like there's a Fantastic Four, there's a boring four, and that's where the Wednesday show would definitely be qualified.
The Fantastic Four is cool if you like read the right runs. Like who was it? It's like Matt Fraction had a really good run of Fantastic Four, but for the most part, like they try to make a movie out of it. It's not going to go so well. Like Fantastic Four is cool, but you need to know what you're doing to pull it off. And I mean, they kind of know what they're doing, but like it's really not that fucking hard to have like some good ass Batman and Robin, and that's what we are. Only you're more like I think I'm Nightwing. I'm going to be honest with you. You can be Red Robin. I'll be Nightwing.
Okay. I kind of look at myself as an Iron Man type, which is, I know, a different universe.
Does he have a problem, or that's the only similarity I can
You have caught me a couple times where in my lowest, but we've caught other people at their lowest. No,
that just got dark.
It did just get dark. Yeah, no. I was crying on the floor with a bottle of whiskey, and Proud came up, and he really made some sense, and... ever since then, things have been a little bit better, but...
Yeah, I can be your Daredevil.
I can be your Daredevil, baby.
I'm like blind and I'm devoted to doing things besides pay attention to you. My fighting on crime is trying to get 5K.
Yeah, which is... I've noticed that you and Ursi have a very antagonistic relationship, I'd call it, where when Ursi's higher than you, he lets you know. He lets you know when he has 50,
you know what? That happens not quite frequently enough for me to say that's a trend.
Oh, it's not a trend.
I don't have enough data points. I only have like one data point, really.
Oh, okay. Is it because he's only passed you one time?
Most likely. Also, I never have my MMR hidden when I'm like fucking on losing sprees, and then when I go on winning sprees, I'm like, if I just put it up now, it'll look like I'm bragging. So I just keep it hidden for a while. But
I've noticed that. I've noticed in days it can go from on your profile to where is it?
I'm very apparent about how I look to the outside world. I'm very self-conscious.
Well, it doesn't sound like it.
Take me higher.
Can you bring up a worse song?
I don't know. It was in my head and I had to express it. So Dota 2 though. Dota 2 is a game played. It's a 5-on-5 game with 3 lanes, and sometimes someone in your lane is named Ursinity, and it fucking sucks because he tilts like a bitch.
Yeah, I'm sure. He's
I shouldn't say that word. I'm sorry, friends.
No, Ursi. Yeah,
he sucks. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about the offlane. All right. So I wanted to go through personally. This is just what I wanted to do. I don't really. Anyway, so personally, I wanted to talk about what the offlane is for different people. So like, let's say, maybe Puppy and Kuro and PPD have the most coherent idea of what the fuck the offlane is, and Universe can play offlane perfectly. But if you put them in, let's say, a 1K unranked game, and you put Universe on Darkseer because he's planning to be the best hero to get a lot of stuff out against a tri-lane. Oh yeah, Darkseer is the pick for the offlane against this composition of heroes. And then you go there, and it turns out everyone's like dual laning, and there's 2 people fighting for last hits. Darkseer actually probably isn't the best hero to take advantage of that. Maybe your own dual lane is. So what you think of as a prototypical, like, I'm going to read a guide on Dota, and that'll teach me what offlane is, that actually may not apply to your games at all. And that's a big thing, like especially when I was like first getting better. I got Urn on every single strength hero I played, and that wasn't because it was the best thing. It was because it gave me health regen and mana regen, and I didn't have people buying mana boots for me. I didn't have a fucking Dazzle healing me up. I needed to be self-sufficient, and if I went back there, even though I'm way better now, I would probably still buy an Urn most of those games. Do you get what I mean? Do you have any fucking idea what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Great, you do the show.
But my Urn love came on an int hero, an int support. But
that's what you got out of this? You just start talking about Urn? Like, the show's about offlane.
No, I know what you mean. It's strength heroes and grabbing an Urn and going offlane and getting it on every single hero.
Let's talk about Urn, dude. Let's talk about Urn.
Okay, so I'm sure you're getting Urn on...
Oh, God. Urn.
Yeah, I'm sure you're getting it on strength heroes like I don't know.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Undying when I think of Urn, I kind of think of Undying, to be honest with you.
I mean, that's like a hero that makes sense to get Urn on, but I'm talking like when I was brand new to the game and I was like, I'm gonna play Chaos Knight safe lane because my team needs someone who can be tanky and also carry the game because I don't trust anyone, and also I need to worry about my own mana regen and healing, and I need to do it now. So I would get like Urn very early on, like Chaos Knight.
You know what my brain goes to with Urn though? And
probably nothing.
It goes to something. It's not a good point though. But
it's like a fucking null pointer. It's touching nothing.
Hey, we have similar thoughts. We have similar thoughts. Your thoughts are just like 2K higher. But when I think of Urn, I think of Sage's Mask, and I'm like, I need mana. I'm Chaos Knight.
Sage's Mask.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Such a good item.
Yeah, and just like with you talking about Underlord and getting Echo Saber. And you're like, well, I mean, there's not really a really great reason, but mana. And it's like, that's exactly how I feel with Echo Saber on a lot of heroes. I think that's kind of like the new Urn for me.
Yeah, it's like the very expensive Urn from like mana regen.
Yeah.
For mana regen purposes, yeah.
And it's like, I don't really need it on Chaos Knight and Urn, but mana's good, and I mean, I could maybe kill somebody that's getting away.
Strength. He's a strength hero. It's got 6 strength. I don't know. So it's pretty good.
But Urn's changed. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't remember exactly, but I know they buffed it more toward the int carrier now, right? Then they take some stats away from... Or no, I'm thinking of drums. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, drums. No. It's. Yeah. I mean, Urn hasn't been changed for a while. It's just been like whether or not it's like health removal and shit like that. But it's like.
What's its damage type? What's the damage type on Urn?
I think it's just like pure, basically.
Pure. So like, okay.
It's 400 heal, 150 damage over time, more or less pure damage.
Oh, dude, it's so good. I went through a phase where I got Urn on everything. So why? Okay, if you're farming super well, Chaos Knight offlane, say, And you do get. Well, yeah, why would he go off lane? I know you brought up a safe lane.
It's okay. It's okay. No, that's fine. Let's say you're farming well. Chaos Knight doesn't matter the lane because you're 2K.
Yeah, you're 2K. Really,
and it's a dual lane.
It doesn't. And
until you watch this episode, you won't even know the difference between your safe lane and your off lane.
And
watch, I mean listen to.
I know a lot of people say watch. It's like, okay.
Absorb.
But yeah, and if I could just let you know the hell that I go through with lanes and what they mean, people just like to know what it means. But Chaos Knight's off lane with an urn. I mean, it's 850, 875, something like that, 825 gold. Like it gives you some strength. It gives you mana regen to a small mana pool. Yeah. I mean, is it that dumb to get? Is it?
No, I don't think so per se. Like I think it's pretty bad for like a safe lane because I mean you want to get that armlet up ASAP, and then your armlet takes care of your health regen issues for the most part, and then an Echo Saber will take care of your mana regen. So like I would much prefer to go armlet Echo Saber as fast as possible than get an urn. But I mean if your game's going like shit and it's hard for you to farm items because you're low level and you want health regen and you want some early mana regen, urn is fine on a hero like Chaos Knight. Like okay. I'm not going to go to TI and be like, oh, that guy picked up urn at TI, that was fine. But if you're at a 2K pub and you need to be self-sustaining, like I'm saying if I went back to that level of skill, I would probably buy urn. Obviously, if I play at some really low-ranked game, I'm not going to. I'm going to, Chaos Knight, get that really early armlet and Echo Saber because I'm going to be way better and I'm going to be able to farm it super fast. But if I was like shit at farming and shit was fucking hard and I needed my health to go up and I wanted to be able to cast Chaos Bolts every so often, like, Urn's a fine option. That item honestly carried me through so many of my early games. Like, I definitely had more Urns purchased than BKBs for a very long time in my career.
Yeah, no, it's just it's an excellent item, and it's cool.
And I play Core, yeah, and like you can use it as like a nuke, dude. Urn Spectre. There's so many games on Spectre where like I remember awesome. Like killing a Huskar because the Urn nuke plus my dagger plus I'd be like dodging around and like it turns you into like a range damage dealer. It's like Urn is awesome. That's a fun fucking item.
Yeah, Urn Spectre was so much fun because the haunt, and then you're like, oh my god, they have a Lincoln Sphere. And you earned them, and it would take it off, right?
Does it? I don't actually.
As I was saying that sentence and thinking back on memories, those were memories I didn't have. So I guess that was just a complete fabrication of truth. Yeah.
Okay.
My bad.
I'm gonna go test that real quick.
But let's break this down even further, because I had a vision of how we would talk about the offlane, and that's that. I remember I can literally put myself in my no boots Nature's Prophet days. And remember, and that's like pretty much the only reason we got like a 4-star review is because Ursi was just like, God, I hate this guy. Like, he's so fucking dumb.
I mean, that's honestly like Ursi's. I mean, he's his own thing.
He's his own thing. But this isn't Ursi's show. Fuck Ursi. We don't need to depend our show on other people like the Wednesday show does, It
seems like you're so much more attached to him the more angry you
are. But it was just lanes. It was top or... I understood top and bot because I looked at it.
It's okay. You don't have to... It's okay.
Okay. Okay. Do I not need to raise my voice? Is that what you're...
Yeah,
okay. All right. Okay.
We got a lot of new people here. We want it to be comfortable and safe. You don't need to yell. Okay.
Okay, so when I first saw the minimap, I looked at it kind of like a compass, okay? North, east, southwest. It just made sense in my mind.
Sure.
And top, north, bot, south. I don't know. Maybe that's because of the world, Maybe that's why I view that.
Here's the issue I always have. If I'm Radiant and I'm pushing and I'm on their side of the map, every lane is now top lane, right? Like,
yeah.
Am I not the only one who makes that mistake all the time? Like, I'm on the top part of the map. Obviously, I'm on the top lane.
Yeah. And that's how I looked at it, but it's confusing as a brand new player. Okay, you are at your tier 3 on Radiant, and they say go top lane or go bot lane, and you're like, okay, am I in a lane? Like, where am I? Like, what? And so my easy way to look at it was based on tier 1 towers, and the tier 1 towers kind of align with the north being the tier 2 dire, east being the tier 2 offlane dire. Anyway, it was so confusing to me at first, and I didn't understand why it mattered until I started playing that bootsless Nature's Prophet and going into the jungle, and then, I realized, okay, there's a jungle, and that's all really safe lane to hard lane means to me, until I got another piece of information recently, which was that the creeps in safe lane move faster when they first spawn, which is something that tripped me out, and so like trying to block a safe lane creep camp that just spawns is going to be really hard to do because it's moving way faster than you could possibly. Do you know what I'm talking about? Or are you just like listening because I'm like just such a scrub? You're just like, oh my fuck.
Refine that real quick for me, baby.
Okay, the creeps, initially upon spawning in either safe lane, whether it be Radiant or Dire, move faster to a point and then slow down for equilibrium's sake.
Truth.
This is something that rocked my world. Because I would try and block from the tier 3 the creeps.
Babe. Yeah, if you're on your off lane, you can do that. You can block really early.
Because it's a shorter lane.
No, you gotta walk to like the tier 2 tower at the earliest.
Yeah, and I see so many pros like make sure that the rune's okay. They're helping out their mid to get the safe lane rune, and then they immediately cut down. And I was like, wow, they have just started blocking earlier. They're pros. I bet it'd be at the tier 1. And it's just like, I look at my wife playing and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm not gonna break that ice to her for 100 games, 200 games, how I don't even know how many games. And this is important to know that it's exclusionary. Yeah, mid and off lane you can totally block, but safe lane no, you have to do it differently. It's just like Day 9 was talking about this, but he's saying when you take away everything and you just look at the skeleton of the game, which I really appreciated, the skeleton being the map. It's beautiful, dude. It's absolutely beautiful, and just being able to talk a whole show on dissecting a single lane, probably a series of shows on the right way to tackle it, the right way to oppose it. It's pretty cool. It's something that I'm only now appreciating after like 9,000 hours of Dota 2.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, offlane. So I'll go ahead and break the ice on what I think the offlane is. I think it's obviously the lane to fuck
That's
with.
Off.
It's a hero that is usually durable and sustainable in some fashion. That can be.
Okay, are you saying what the off lane is, or what a hero who off lanes is?
I guess what a hero who off lanes is.
For fuck's sake.
Okay, the off lane would be your short lane. Your also referred to as easy lane according to Dota2.gamepedia.com. Do you think it says? Oh no. Okay, suicide lane, long lane, or off lane. Never mind. I was reading safe lane.
We got it now.
So, okay, explain just the off lane then, Proud. We won't tangentialize.
Okay, all right. So the off lane in something that's true for everyone. So like mechanically, what the off lane is a lane where for various reasons, the creep equilibrium or rather your off lane is a lane where the advantage of that lane is given to the other team. That's like the most simplest you could say it, and then you can refine that down to like what are the advantages. And one would be there's a small camp that can be used to pull. The tower is more defensible, or the tower is, I guess I should say,
the opposing tower is more defensible. I get what you mean.
I would say that the offlane and safe lane are defined by their foils, right?
Sure.
It's not the off lane unless there is an on lane, so to speak. Like it's not your less defensible lane unless there is a more defensible lane.
Exactly.
They're kind of reactionary to each other. They're defined by each other's strengths and weaknesses. So
and well put.
The off lane can't be defined without also defining what makes the safe lane the safe lane. So the off lane is the lane that's less defensible than the opposing safe lane, which is attached to it, or like adjacent or whatever, right? Whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the off lane. And what makes it the off lane is that it's next to the opponent's safe lane. And what makes the opponent's safe lane the safe lane is that it's an advantage on the off lane. And those advantages are, like, this is the actual meat of it, is the opponents can pull the small camp, and they can also pull the hard camp. Your option is only the hard camp, and your hard camp pull is less defensible than them pulling to their side of the equilibrium for the most part.
Because they're pulling it directly toward their tower, whereas you're pulling it kind of laterally toward your tower.
And then one of your pulls you pull behind your tower, and then and your pull is always, and the offlane pull is always going to be in front of their tower. So one aspect of it is that pulling the creeps and denying them to neutral creeps is far easier for a safe lane as opposed to your offlane. And I guess the other dimension is the river, the river that leads up into the part where the river leads into the lane.
Sure.
Is very close to the offlaner's tower, or to the offlane tower, I guess I would say. and that means that it's also easier to gank that lane. It's very easy to smoke or even to just fucking walk up those stairs, and then you're in front of the tier 1 offlane tower, and but also behind where the creeps are.
I don't feel like I see many ganks up that staircase, but you're absolutely right. Like I'm physically looking at a Dota 2 map right now. It's right in front of my face.
And, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you, dude.
Yeah, no, it's like both my eyes are making a triangle right on the offlane, and yeah, you're absolutely right. But how come the in my opinion, my skill level, whatever, the gank path is through the river, up that little cove, and then around to grab you, instead of straight up those stairs? Is it just because it's just so obviously seen, or I mean,
there's like a couple reasons. Here, let me get into to map to look real quick. But like, okay, so let's say we'll go back a little bit, because I mean, games are kind of slow to adapt to how the new game is, right? So, okay, so let's say you're the Radiant offlane, and the regular creep equilibrium after however long, like 7 minutes or whatever, is more or less going to meet in the corner of the map, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to meet on the top corner, since it's the top lane. So to meet somewhere in there. So let's say a person is at like the top left corner, and then the river path, the path right in front of the Dire or the Radiant's tier 1 tower. If you walk up those stairs, 1, they'll see you. 2, if you walk up those stairs, you may be in the path of creeps and that sort of thing. So it may be disadvantageous to gank in that direction if just the tower sees you or there are creeps. When you would want to walk up that way is if the person is like just right across that little bridge thing and is just barely on the Dire side, and then you walk up that way and then they can't avoid you. But
or the haste rune path, right? Like you pick up a haste rune and you're just.
I mean, if you have a haste rune, just whichever way you can grab them faster. Normally, the haste rune, what's gonna matter most is if they see you coming. So if you have a haste rune, you may decide to go up through that little alcove and then go through the jungle, like past the Dire safe lane hard camp. And just like go through the trees where they can't see you, and then you pop out. Whoa, I got a haste rune, crazy, and then that's great.
And it all comes down to if they can't see you.
Yeah. But I mean, if you have a haste rune, you don't if you want to be basically where the river meets the top lane, not through the alcove, just where the river meets the lane. If you have a haste rune, it's very easy to do that going through the alcove, and then you just run your ass, and then you're right there anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're just walking up, like let's say the Dire, let's say the Radiant offlaner is at that like Dire, the little pole camp there that has that little cup of trees. You like cut one of those trees and then you can pull it. Let's say the Radiant offlaner just pulled from that camp, and you wanted to gank them. Then you would want to run through the river and up those stairs, and then like come around, and then if they wanted to run to their tower, they would have to run to you, right? Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. It makes it actually
so if they're there, it would make sense to gank that way, because there's very little time where between the tower sees you and when you're fighting them. But let's say if they're by the Dire tier 1, like if they're pushed all the way up and you run through that way, like they'll see you from your tower. Their creeps that are spawning may also see you as you walk up there, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure. So, well, let's add an extra layer of complexity here, which is
that sounds
not
questionable.
But not like 6 months ago. I don't know how long the patch was where we got the offlane camps, right? The offlane hard camp. What? So would you say? I mean, obviously this fundamentally changed the offlane, or is it not so obvious that it fundamentally changed it? Is it?
I guess it kind of depends. The reason that it changed so I think we should still dial it back a little bit to like, so we've identified what makes the offlane is that it is more disadvantageous, I guess, in general to whoever's in the offlane has a certain set of disadvantages, and those disadvantages are mostly in terms of the ability to be ganked by other people and the ability to pull. And all of those are multi-hero maneuvers. If you're dealing in a 1v1 lane, the pull doesn't really affect you that much, and the fact that you're going to be ganked doesn't affect you that much. So from that, you can extrapolate. So what the offlane means is that other players who are not in the laning stage have different levels of I guess, effectiveness and efficacy, et cetera, that they can like exert onto that lane. So if I'm playing 1v1 with you, doesn't really matter that much if we're 1v1ing in safe lane or off lane for whatever side I am for the most part. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely.
You say
that's
no,
really,
it doesn't make sense?
It makes absolute sense. It's
all right, I'll fight you, dude.
No, I wouldn't lie to you. It's just it's something that boggles my mind that I haven't thought that way, because it's not that complex of a thought.
No, yeah, it's. I mean, a lot of Dota is just like Dota's kind of like Super Smash Bros. Melee, where the game is incredibly complex if you bother to sit down and think about it. But also, so much of it. I mean, at this point, Melee is insane. But if you think about, back when you were getting good in, like middle school, high school, or whatever, a lot of getting good at it just came down to playing a lot, and then a lot of these things you just absorbed into you, and you didn't really realize that. I don't actually know anything about Melee. You didn't actually realize that. I don't know, like Chun-Li's jab is so hard to get into because it's a fucking 2-frame jab, but you don't actually know what frames are and that sort of thing unless you sit down and be like, oh, yo, I need to worry about these frames right now.
Yeah, or for StarCraft, making sure that you have, like we were talking about this, making sure you have the right amount of workers on an individual mineral set.
Yeah,
and
like
stuff like that.
Shit like that.
Your first game, you're not going to do, but eventually you get to that. It's almost I mean, it's efficiency really. It's understanding that static. It's kind of like math. I don't know. I look at it. It's kind of like you have a piece of paper. Nothing's ever going to change on that piece of paper, except I mean the variables that you add. I mean that's the simplistic way to look at it. But I've never really broken it down to like something like that dumb and obvious.
Okay, cool. So let's kind of keep going with that a little bit. So we have the offlane. So we know this is what the offlane is. It's a lane where people the safe lane has more abilities for multiple heroes to create, I guess, dynamic situations upon that lane, or just like create dynamics in general. Whereas the off lane, like any team has less ability to I guess exert like maneuvers or tactics upon their off lane than their safe lane. Like let's list the things you can do with your safe lane. You can pull. You can be stacking you can like walk out of the lane and stack your jungle. You can gank from the river. You can like walk around their tower to gank. You can block or not even block at all, and you just passively have the lane equilibrium slightly more in your favor. When you're getting ganked, you can retreat to this kind of jungle path very easily, et cetera, et cetera. And then if you're on the off lane, what are your options? You can pull the hard camp. And you need to be very careful whenever you push up because there are multiple gank paths that you can be taken from, and your warding options are also like slightly more restricted. But that's really the only difference. So the only difference between the lanes is the equilibrium and the fact that other people can like do things that other players not from your lane can do things to your lane. Mm-hmm. So that I would like. So let's say we're at 2K. How often do you see people like smoke gank around the like 4-minute mark from the river at 2K?
Never.
Yeah,
unless I'm playing like Night Stalker and nighttime and I have a smoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So and then also, I mean, I can say some shit about the mid laner too, but I mean, this is all making a lot more sense to me right now, honestly. But yeah, so all this shit happens, et cetera, et cetera. So from this, we can say in general at a lower level, like a very common maneuver for the safe lane would be, okay, you have 2 heroes and they're like stacking and pulling, and as soon as the lane is pulled in, the supports can like walk around and then gank the enemy offlaner. At 2K, that sort of a maneuver would be really hard to pull off, and often would just be fucked up in general. Like someone would screw up the pull, and then they'd have to wait another minute, and then they would like go around, but they might screw up the timing a little bit. So like executing that maneuver and like engaging in those tactics is very skill based, and if you don't know what you're doing, they may not be able to go off at all. And for that reason, you might say, okay, it's not worth devoting these extra heroes to the safe lane to shut down their offlaner if we can't actually take advantage of these tactics, right? Does that make sense?
It's blowing my mind, to be honest with you. Big time. Yeah, no, it's like I feel bad for the people commuting because looking at a map, it's just obvious
trying
information.
To say it as clearly as possible. But
no, like, it's hard to say, but just so obvious to see.
If you just think about, so like even okay, I'll try to like for the people commuting. So if you look at what the lane is the space. Or at least early game in the lane stage, the lane is the space in between your tier 1 and their tier 1. And if you look at either of the bases, the Radiant or the Dire, right in front of the Dire tier 1 is the river, and right in front of the Radiant offlane tier 1 is also the river. And then in between the offlane tier 1 and the enemy safe lane tier 1, there's like 2 paths, including 3 paths if you include the river, and then a hard camp that can be used for either team to pull, and then a safe lane camp that can just be used for the safe lane team to pull. So like for a fact, so they have lane equilibrium on their side. The safe lane has lane equilibrium. The off lane has several gank paths that they can be ganked from, and the safe lane also has this extra pull camp. So they definitely have more I guess more mechanics, more kind of like widgets on the map for them to do things with. And then if you're laning by yourself, you can't be both laning and stacking and pulling and all that. So that needs extra heroes to do shit. So through that, you can extrapolate, okay, the safe lane takes advantage of having multiple heroes do shit. Low-level players aren't capable of doing shit.
It's true.
So then you would say, okay, so like maybe at a lower MMR, you don't actually get that much advantage from tri-laning, which I think everyone knows. At low MMRs, you dual lane. That's not just because people are stupid. There's actually a lot of logic behind it. Like if you're not able to be pulling effectively, and now that the safe lane camp, like at TI3, the safe lane camp wasn't a small camp, it was a medium camp. So you could just spam pull that all fucking game, and your support could be level 5 at like 6 minutes, and it just didn't fucking matter. But now it's a small camp, so if you can't pull off, if you can't do these pulls, then the fact that it's your safe lane or your off lane doesn't actually matter quite as much.
It's just a huge disadvantage. And if you
can't go stack through the jungle and be efficient like that, then your safe lane actually isn't too much of a safe lane. It's just the lane on your side.
Okay, that is a great explanation. I think the real gem that I got out of that was the lane really is just the space in between the two tier 1s, and thinking about like I don't know, just making it makes it almost easier to conceptualize the game when you're laning, especially as a core, when you're like, I need a last hit, I need a harass. Like, if you just realize the space that I'm dealing with right now is actually quite limited. I don't need to freak out. I don't need to worry about all this stuff. So long as I have vision over here, like, I know that they can't come from over there without me seeing them. Like, having that revelation is really cool. I want to move on to the difference. Was that
Denny coughing? Did Denny just cough?
Denny just fucking coughed on our show, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I want to talk about
again.
Oh wow, yeah, you're funny.
And now he's trying to be.
You're really funny. Go on the Wednesday show and talk some more shit, dude. How about that? Yeah. Okay. So the differences. So this is a contentious thing. The off lanes that
contentious.
Contentious. There's
don't use words like that with me, dude.
It's contended. In that. The Dire offlane is much more valued than the Radiant offlane, and I would love to hear your thoughts.
That's a great point. Yeah, so
is it like absolute truth?
Yeah, for sure. So if you look at the map, I mean, like if you just kind of draw lines between, so everyone knows Dire Roshan advantage, right?
Yeah.
And you ask why that is. Well, it's because it's on their side of the map. What does that mean? It's easier for the Dire team to go there. Why? Like, what even is their side of the map? Like, what does that mean? It's where your ancient is, sure, but are you really caring about the ancient until later on in the game? What that really means is you have tower, like your gather points that you can TP scroll to, or where you respawn, are closer to that side of the map. So Dire people respawn closer to Roshan, and then their towers are closer to Roshan. And if you look at like what's the one tower that is absolute closest to Roshan, it's the Dire tier 1. Is the Dire offlane tier 1. The Dire offlane tier 2, and then the mid tier 1 are also pretty close, and then the Dire mid tier 2 is relatively close as well, and then from there it's kind of even.
Yeah.
And then if you look at Radiant, like none of their towers are close.
It's equidistant between mid and safe lane for Radiant.
Yeah, it's like almost like the safe lane tier 1 is like kind of close to Roche. The safe lane tier 2 is kind of close to Roche. The mid lane tier 1 is kind of close to Roche. So like losing any of these towers, like as long as you still have the safe lane tier 2, you're still about the same distance from Roche. But as Dire, like the offlane tier 1 is like you can stop an Ursa from roshing if you have that at like 5 minutes still.
Yeah.
So yeah, that tower is definitely really important to keep the Dire Roche advantage. Like you can get Roche very early if you still have that tower.
So what makes it fair then? So if Dire has this huge advantage,
Dire's the best.
So okay, so it's not fair.
True. I mean, it's I don't know. Sometimes Dire is really strong. Sometimes people are like, man, Radiant's like way too good, and then they look at the win rate and Dire's really high. Et cetera, et cetera. Radiant had really good lanes for a while. The layouts of the jungle are different. It's pretty hard to parse exactly how each side is better. But
here's how I parse it, because okay. I would love to hear your thoughts on how I parse it.
No, I want to hear yours, babe.
So when I'm playing Dire, I notice and appreciate and will do what I can to protect the Dire offlane tier 1. But when I'm playing,
that's good.
But when I'm playing mid on Dire, I find it much harder to make it to the jungle and stack while my 1 minute wave pushes in and I have the opportunity to go fair. Stack. Whereas on Radiant, I don't have the Roche advantage, but I have those two camps that are just so extremely close. Or at least they feel close. Like, I don't have to climb stairs to get them.
Right. The medium camp is very close, although that's one of the harder camps to stack it as
well. But if you just get it down and you're like, okay, this camp's a 55, this camp's a 54. Like, it doesn't take that much. I mean, go into a bots match and figure out which camps, anyway.
I'll agree with you, but I will say one caveat. Yes, it is easy to do it in a vacuum, but if shit is happening, it can be harder to actually reach it at that exact window.
Oh, absolutely. And every 25 MMR I gain, the harder it is. You know what I mean? Where, I get caught or...
They're better at pushing in the wave sooner and it's harder for you. So et cetera, et cetera. Like, there's a lot of camps you can pull from 52 to 55, and then there's that one it's like, pull it at 54.5 or you're fucked.
Yeah, well, it's like, it depends. Like, if it's just the Centaur and just Little Centaur, it's like a later time. This is something that, like,
that is the cutest camp, by the way. The two Centaurs.
No, it's just one.
I'm not interested.
Yeah, the ones with 3 are just confusing, and that's because it's
like
new.
I don't actually think you have enough income to support that tiny Centaur.
And that is definitely because it's new. Proud. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, let's talk.
What?
Yeah, let's take a quick break, and when let's take a quick break, and when we come back, let's talk. Yes. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, let's talk about adding the variables of heroes. Unless you have any addendums, by all means, go ahead and if you have anything else to add. But I feel like that's a pretty damn good explanation, and I want this to be renewable. So let's not hit every single topic about Offlane. I want the Offlane version 2 episode to happen.
Oh, what? Really? Okay.
No,
right, so
no.
We'll take a little break. Okay.
Do you feel like you've said what you've said?
Okay, I feel like I have a lot to say, and the more we bullshit about this, the less I'm actually gonna have time to say.
Okay, so
didn't help.
In favor of break, say aye. Okay, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about adding the complexity of heroes on the map. Hello, everybody. This is Roland from your favorite Dota 2 podcast, Defense of the Patience. I am asking a lot of you on this commercial, and that is to go to defenseofthepatience.com, and in the top right, you will see a survey. This is going to give us money. Money that we will spend on terrible things, probably. I've always wanted a monster truck, and if you can help me achieve that, I'd really appreciate it. We've been doing this for 2 years now, and I now have a chance to get a monster truck, so that's pretty exciting for me. Check out the survey. If you don't want to fill it out, don't. But we do need some of you to fill them out. I'm totally rambling here, and I probably should have a script. But I don't have a script, and so this is going to go on for another 10 seconds because you're supposed to have a minute, and I'm at 52 seconds. Please go to the top right of defenseofthepatience.com. Help me make my dreams come true. Thank you for listening to Defense of the Patience. Addendum to the commercial. It's completely anonymous. I feel like that should be in the survey. I said that the first time. It is completely anonymous. You do have to enter an email. But yeah, no, Proud. Heroes. This is something that AG and we were casting game 1 of the Dot in house last night.
Oh, yeah, I know that you were because I was trying to fucking finish the Thursday show and you just left.
Oh, sorry, dude. It was like I got a million things at once. My apologies. And I know
I always come first. You should know that.
Yeah, you do always come first.
I flirt with you enough that I feel like I deserve it.
I know. I feel like I don't want you to get the wrong impression. I'm not leading you on. I promise. I'm not. But AG and I were talking.
It's just like you're married and shit, and I just feel
it's a
really
little weird. I know it's hard, but we can work through those things. I think that's what a true relationship would do: would work through the problems and make everything work in the end.
Thank you. I just get emotional sometimes.
I mean, so do I. But it's all about how much you let out at once. You know what I mean? If you're gonna let it all out and put it all out on the table,
okay, we don't have to get like that on the podcast.
All right. So AG and I were casting game 1. We were talking about this Night Stalker and how. He brought up some really good points that led me to think about different things. Why Night Stalker is in fact a shitty offlane.
He's ripped though.
Have
you seen that dude? He's ripped.
He's like a ripped demon beast. Yeah, I know,
he's like if Arnold Schwarzenegger were blue and had a weird fleshy meat face.
Yeah, no, it's true. But what say you on Night Stalker offlane? I know that this hero, in my mind, I think of him as an off lane. I don't think of him as a safe lane, and I definitely don't think of him as a mid, which would put him in like that 4 role, that roaming role.
He's a 4 support that jungles, and then it gets level 4 pretty early, and then fucks on everyone's face.
Okay, so offlane it's just not even like you would never ever think to draft.
You can, but not anymore. There's so many good offlaners right now. Okay, I wanna dial it back a little more. I know that you have your idea right now, and I don't want to subvert your agency on your own organization.
Okay,
but. All right, so here's how I envision this. We can go either way. I just wanted to let you know. So I wanted to go through like, okay, so now we know what the offlane is.
Oh,
it doesn't fucking help.
Proud. Like, it's only half of me. It's all of you. It's half of me and all of you. You do you. You do you, and you do us.
You know what? It means so much to me that I have your support.
You have 100% of it.
Certain show hosts that I've worked with before,
and me too. I think we both have those experiences. So
okay, yeah. so there's. It doesn't give you any. It doesn't help you at all if you know that Chun-Li has a fucking 2-frame jab, right? Like that doesn't fucking help you.
That means nothing to me. I wish we used StarCraft analogies, but keep going.
Okay, it doesn't matter to you that the spawning pool always goes up at like 2:30 game time.
Okay.
Like what matters to you is how you can actually use that information. So we know that the offlane is a lane where multiple heroes don't actually award you that many more dynamics. And we know that the safe lane is a lane where multiple more heroes award you more dynamics. And then if we extend a little further, just to complete our circle of knowledge, the mid lane is a lane where adding a hero does not afford you any single more dynamic outside of just winning the lane harder. Like adding more heroes to a lane makes it easier to trade, et cetera, et cetera. But on the mid lane, adding another hero can help you like harass the mid laner out at level 1 a little bit, but it can't help you pull. It doesn't really help you gank. The mid lane has vision from pretty much any angle for the most part, unless you're smoked. So just try to think about the lanes right now in terms of how much adding multiple or more heroes to that lane can radically shift what you can do with it. So in the safe lane, you can be pulling, etc., like doing ganks from multiple angles. Off lane, you can kind of pull. Then you can add another hero that can take care of the pulling of the hard camp, but that's about it. Mid lane, adding more heroes, you can't do anything else besides lane control better with last hitting and auto attacks and shit.
Or my skill just stand there and take my experience.
Exactly. So so from that, we'll say, okay, so if you can't do more shit, like if you're not skilled enough to be pulling that sort of thing, should you be like devoting 3 heroes to lane? Yeah, okay. So what you just said. So someone who just sits in lane and they take experience and shit.
I think of Venge. And like I'm gonna get a swap, but no, the Invoker knows that the Venge has swap and is staying back, but she's still just standing there.
Sure,
for 2,
sure. And
3,
even
4
before
minutes.
They have, let's say they're both level 4. Is the Venge sitting there?
Okay, Venge has
anything?
a stun and a wave of terror and is standing there, and the Invoker knows, the opposing Invoker, and it's just useless.
Yeah. Okay. So we know that now, and the default way of if anyone watches a game of Dota, they can be 1K and they can say, well, if you were good, you would be tri-laning right now, or like if you not even if you're good, it's just if you understood Dota, like I understand Dota with my 1K ability to watch fucking OG play, you would know that in high level Dota you tri-lane and then you push one person in the off lane and one person mid. And anyone who doesn't do that is fucking stupid, and I'm still 1K. So you could say that, that's fine. I don't like you, but you could say it. But like, why do you think that would be wrong? Like at certain times, like why do you think that's wrong in your games, or do you think it's correct still?
Why do I think?
I mean, you people try lane in your games for the most part, but like when you go to unranked at the lower level,
okay,
you got the dual lanes going. Like, so would you tell those people to try lane, or like why do you think would be a bad idea?
No, I wouldn't. If I'm playing a solo pub and there's a 3 stack and they want to try lane, fuck yeah, go for it. I hope you guys have a blast.
Why is that?
Because they're working together and they're just kind of out of our way, and I know that this rando wants to win and he has a solo lane, and I know that I have a solo lane, and even if they lose their lane doing their tri-lane bullshit, I feel like winning 2 out of 3 lanes is better than...
Where are they tri-laning?
Safe lane.
Okay, why are they tri-laning safe lane as opposed to tri-laning off lane?
Tri-laning off lane, you can't, just like you said earlier, you can't pull as often. There's not as many opportunities. Tri-laning, basically, the way I look at it is you have one of the supports in lane harassing, one of the supports in jungle taking care of stacking, taking care of pulling, etc.
Okay.
So that's the way I view a tri lane.
So you think that in the safe lane, it's like, even if you have 3 heroes, for the most part, it's optimal to have like 2 heroes there and then another hero taking care of like the other dynamics in the lane that aren't just pure laning?
There shouldn't be 3 heroes in the lane unless you're going to get a kill, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, so you shouldn't have 2 heroes or 3 heroes ambiently in a lane. Splitting experience ambiently, 3 ways. You think that there's more things that at least one of those heroes could be doing
rune control.
Just chilling.
You need, I mean, the guy that's polling, if he, sometimes maybe just leave him alone and have somebody on stacking the medium camp and rune control and the other person on polling and getting that experience. Like, no, yeah, having 3 people in lane, this bothers me. Like, I'll pick Sven, and they'll be like, great, we'll try lane because we understand Dota, and I just have a Witch Doctor and Avenge in my lane standing there with me, and they're throwing a coconut and they're stunning, but the guy gets away every single time, and then we lose because it's a level 8 Tidehunter versus 3 level 4s.
Yeah, so their ability to pull off these maneuvers that they're aware of just isn't quite there to actually be taking advantage of tri-laning.
Yeah. No, I don't think that they do at my level. Of course, there are outliers, obviously, where that's how they win their games, is they're a 3-stack, and they call safe lane, and they make it work, and this guy knows exactly to pull at 12 and 42 for the small camp, and 53 and 23 for the large camp, and all that bullshit. Yeah, and they control the rune. Sure, that happens. Does it happen often? Yes, and sometimes it happens to my detriment, playing Storm Spirit, and I'm like, oh, they grabbed top rune, please leave that rune down there, and he is so on rune control that he's gonna get it anyway.
Yeah,
it's like, I have a bottle.
Yeah,
and I was like, you fucker, like, I have a bottle, I needed that.
I would extend that to people who when you're at lower level, people are aware of these maneuvers. They know that they should be tri-laning. I feel like that's where we're at in Dota now. People are so aware of what can be done at the top level that they're not aware of what they actually should be doing, like in congruence with their skills.
Exactly.
Like, maybe you shouldn't be rune controlling if you're not good at it, because that, like, maybe you're actually just taking your rune away from your safe laner. And the other team who isn't rune controlling, their mid is just walking up to the rune and getting it, whereas you're like trying way too hard and you're actually just fucking up your mid.
And of course, being, say, Radiant, safe lane mid, or Radiant mid, excuse me, I have to walk further for the bottom rune. But if I see the Wind Ranger, hit her E and run toward the top rune, I know, okay, I'm going to go to the bottom. And then I see that pesky fucking Witch Doctor pick up a haste rune. And it's like, dude, come on. Come on.
So we can definitely say for sure that there is some sort of phenomenon in Dota where people try to engage in maneuvers that are outside of their skill level.
Just because it's quote-unquote good, though. Not because it makes sense.
Even if it's quote-unquote correct Dota or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We're going to quote-unquote the shit out of this episode.
Yeah, no, there's going to be a lot of quote-unquotes. But yeah, it's quote-unquote good for him to rune control, even though it's stealing it from me.
Yeah, so he wasn't he mistook rune controlling for taking the rune, right? Like, that's what I would say here. He wasn't actually good enough to understand what he's doing. He just kind of they just kind of looked at the what it looks like from the outside, like, oh, Kuroki took the rune. Next time I play, I will take the rune.
Exactly.
Like, no, actually, what Kuroki did was
denied double damage.
He denied the mid rune from the off, or he denied the mid rune from the offlaner and the enemy mid.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that he took it. That means that something that happened didn't involve them getting it, and that something could have been Kuroki taking it, or fucking Fada mid taking it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important to. Definitely. So maybe professional players try lane, but does that mean that they put 3 heroes in a lane? No, that means they have enough heroes to control the lane, and also enough heroes to be like pulling and doing crazy shit in the jungle. And if you can't pull and do crazy shit in the jungle, maybe you ought not to be tri laning.
Yeah, maybe your position would be better suited to just pick Crystal Maiden and be that lane harass, freeze them every once in a while.
Yeah, or do a dual off lane. I mean, dual off lanes are a thing that people still do.
Which is the majority of my games. To finish the point where I was building up to, which thank you for getting me back on track, which was that.
Oh, you're welcome, dude. All about you.
Yes, I do love to see dual lanes because oftentimes if we have a solo offlaner, which after all that is the lane we're talking about, he also doesn't... Okay, I'll tell you one thing. I never ever see the offlane pull a camp. Ever. Pull the creep wave.
I know.
Even though they're capable, even though it's something that I wouldn't even do as an offlane. I can definitely admit that.
Well, it's something.
It's stress. There's just so much
stress.
Even in our
team practices, whenever we're running an aggro tri-lane, we don't really do that much anymore. But my note always taken away was yo, you guys didn't pull the hard camp. That's what you do. If you're aggro tri-laning or aggro dual laning, one of the ways you can force action is you pull the hard camp. Maybe the other team can contest it, but that's how you create action. That's how you get the other team away from their tower.
Exactly.
Is you pull your lane. Like that's the main way to shift the dynamic of the lane, is to introduce a fucking X factor into it, and that X factor is your creeps are in the fucking jungle instead of walking to their tower.
But if I'm like tied off lane, and I have my Quell or I have my Iron Talon, and I can easily cut down a tree and pull it at, it's like 50 or 51 or something like that. It's just so stressful. I'm getting hit from a million different ways, and I'm making sure I'm trying to keep my regen up. That just gets forgotten. Like that's just like, okay, whatever. Like it's like they've already pushed the wave up, because you got to figure lane equilibrium at 2K is not. It's either right. It's under one person's tower at all times, basically, whether that's my tower or their tower. You know. That's usually how it goes, especially with the Titan Hunters that just hit Anchor Smash a million times and don't even get last hits with it. Like, you know, they don't realize the implication on the actual skeleton.
Because of the implication.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one thing that is something that I know would deny experience, creates that action. It also creates a lot of space for you as an offlaner. Creeps are walking right into you. You're getting, last hits finally.
Yeah, when you do it, normally the safe lane doesn't really want to engage in that action, but they have to because of the implication.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going a little far into that joke.
No, I get it, and it takes me some time. I just didn't want to laugh like 9 seconds later, and then.
Okay, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I just didn't get.
Get the joke.
Okay. What's the joke then?
It's always a sunny Philadelphia reference.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't get the joke. I'm not gonna. I just haven't watched all of Always Sunny.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I didn't even watch that episode. I just saw it on YouTube once. Anyway.
The implication. Okay. Yeah. No. Now I'm gonna pretend I got it. Yep. I saw that.
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh no, he remembers now. Okay. Anyway.
Continue.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about like when you're dual laning. So if you're dual laning, it's still technically the off lane, right? Like the name of it hasn't changed. So what do you think? So let's say you're dual laning in the off lane. How are you going to treat it differently than if you're dual laning in the safe lane?
Way more aggressive. I'm all about, because I want to fuck with that safe lane. I want to make sure he doesn't get that last hit. I want to make sure that he feels pressured.
Why would you want to fuck with the safe lane more than an off lane?
No, as an off lane dual lane, I want to fuck with their safe lane, my enemy's safe lane.
Why would you be more interested? So let's say okay, so let's say you're safe laning against a dual lane, or you're off laning against a dual lane.
Okay.
Why when you're safe against a duel are you less interested in fucking with them than when you're off against a safe?
Because your priorities are different.
Why is the off lane more interested in fucking with the safe lane? The safe lane is interested in fucking it with the off lane.
Just like yes, I can answer you that from my skill level, which would be that if I'm safe lane Sven and they're fucking with me hard and it's like a tied Venge, I'm going to use Venge a million times and they're just hitting me constantly. I'm not getting my last hits.
Scaling hero in the safe lane and they're playing like less scaling heroes in the off lane. Why is that?
Because I'm safer. I'm not going to die. I have people stacking for me. I basically have people accommodating my lifestyle, whereas
so you have two people in your, so it's duel versus duel, right? So you're Sven, I don't know, what do you even know?
Maiden. Sven Maiden happens a lot because my wife plays Maiden.
Okay, so you're Sven Crystal Maiden and you're against like tied Jakiro. Why are you Sven Crystal Maiden in the safe lane as opposed to Sven Crystal Maiden in the off lane?
Because when the creep wave pushes up, she can pull for one, a lot easier. She has two routes of pulling, like you brought up earlier. I have a jungle at my disposal, and usually when you're pulling at the 53 on the hard camp, that thing gets to be a monster.
It's easier for you to get to the jungle to farm, so you can like make that transition. Maybe that's one of the reasons why you're playing a greedier hero in the safe lane, even though you're not tri-laning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's still 2v2 heroes, so the only difference is the features of the lane that are making.
It's the bones. It's the bones of the map. Why I would much rather put.
That's a nice. I like saying the bones of the map.
Yeah, it's that I have more
farm. Architecture is another good thing to say.
Yeah, or the architecture.
I like bones more right now. I used to be really into the architecture.
The architecture, but like the bones or the architecture have more gold nearer to me. Whereas if I'm in the off lane, I have one camp below me, I have one camp above me, and then I have creeps.
And they're pretty far away too. Yeah. It's kind of a trek.
Yeah. So honestly, I don't really like look at the game that way until I just said it. I'm gonna be honest with you there. Like I said it, but I don't like.
I know that's why I'm doing it with you. Like, that's why I need you. I need your ability to be like, oh, good thought.
Yeah, like no, that's like really profound, and I'm gonna think about it that way from here on out. But like, you got me to say it. Like, are you Ursi shouldn't be going into teaching. I mean,
I'm actually going to be that's after I'm done with all my web shit and I get free money doing Ruby or whatever for free, and then I'm going to go do teaching.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, cuz that was like you got me to say it, and I think that's like the whole goal of being a teacher.
Oh, thanks, dude. I'm doing good now.
But Offlane, yeah. I mean, is that what you were looking for? Is that we put like Axe, for instance? I can't tell you how many games of Axe Coddle Denny and I did. That's a dual lane Offlane, where I was getting triple kills. We were taking the tier 2 at 9 minutes, maybe even earlier, but then we'd lose the game. And you're absolutely right as far as the scaling. And this is back when Axe didn't have other items to scale, i.e. Crimson Guard.
Even Abyssal, you can go on Axe now.
Yeah, and then like, it was wildly different back then.
Damage and shit.
Yeah, and now that when you get attacked, it procs, whereas before when they'd throw the attack, it would proc, which actually helped you a ton, and that's why they patched it, where your spin would proc. Yeah. Anyway, and I was just so fucking baffled, and we'd always be like shitty teammates, and maybe so, because we were creating space, but it's true in that I chose to pick a hero that excels earlier, that doesn't excel later.
So were you running that in the safe lane?
No, we were running that in the off lane.
Okay. But so you were in like if you were against a tri lane, maybe it would be worth shutting down 3 heroes to run something like that. Mm-hmm. But let's say if you're just against 2 heroes, like let's say you're just trading 2 heroes for an Axe and a Coddle doing well, and Axe was also
it wasn't Axe Coddle. I'm sorry, it was Axe heal hero. It was like Axe Dazzle or Axe Omni.
So
it was Coddle Bristle off lane.
Axe
similar thing.
Yeah, so like Axe didn't get any worse early game to compensate for how good he is in the mid late game now. But yeah, in general, Axe was like a very bad hero.
And he'd get kited. It was like in the days of, you'd see a lot of sniper and you'd see a lot of that. And it's just like, I thought it was just universally good that, you get a healing hero. We hurry and hide in the trees. We pop out and we cut the wave, and then they don't know what to do, and it's complete terror. And we don't actually take the tower. Our creeps take the tower and so on. And then we fall off at like 40 minutes. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, we were wrecking. And it makes sense that, like, say if Sven had the ability to spin and scale the way he does, it would be a different thing altogether. And then the Bristle Coddle, same thing. Bristle reaches the point where before Bristle didn't have Octarine to take him up, before Bristle didn't have Crimson Guard as well to tank him up.
Okay, let's dial it back a little bit because I think we're getting kind of away from what. All right, so let's say okay, so we've identified that even if it's just two heroes versus 2 heroes. There are certain aspects of the off lane versus the safe lane that define them. Even if it's just 2 heroes versus 2 heroes, and you throw away the kind of trends in Dota. Like I'd say one of the trends is you normally run more aggressive, or you run more greedy heroes in the safe lane, and more aggressive heroes in the off lane. So when I was kind of asking you about that, I wanted to kind of strip away whether or not you just think that as a fact, or if there's a specific reason that we do that. So we can identify that the reason you run more aggressive heroes in the off lane is that there's more places for the enemy to gank you from in different lanes. But if you're at a lower MMR, that's not really too much of a thing. Maybe mid will gank. I know that there's
mid will always gank through that alcove area. Yeah, up through the jungle, through the alcove. Yeah, that's always
mid gank sometimes. That's good to know. And so that's one way. Well, even when you're dual laning, the mid can gank, and that can add some kind of dynamics to adding additional heroes to the lane, because those gank paths don't really matter unless a hero from outside your lane is coming in, right? Mm-hmm. So we know that it's more dangerous in general in the off lane than it is in the safe lane. So you want to play something aggressive and fighty, and then in the safe lane you want to play something more conservative because it's better not to lose early games. So you have a defensive advantage in the safe lane, hence it being safe. And we've identified that's because of the gank paths, and if you can take advantage of the polling, you can do that, and the easier access to go start jungling. So because the safe lane is safer, you can stand to run greedier heroes there and not get punished quite as hard.
Yes.
So that's good. So even if you're dual laning at a low MMR, it's not just trends. This isn't just random shit we discovered and we're just copying pros. There are factual reasons. Even you can see it in the general architecture or bones or structure of the map that leads you to be wanting a greedier hero in the safe lane, and a more aggressive hero in the off lane.
Yeah, and I mean that's how it's viewed. I mean, although I am saying things like I do them in my games.
You are saying things, correct?
I'm saying things like I actually implement what I'm saying. So, like, right now I have the perfect 2020 hindsight. I'm talking with somebody who's nearly 5,000 MMR, and it, you're making a lot of sense. But it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't think that way. Like, when I get into my solo ranked pub, and I don't know what it's like when you get into your, like, 4.7K solo ranked pub. I think...
8, please.
4.8. I think, like, okay, they have, like, the furthest my knowledge will extend will be, sadly, like, I know that there's a hero that counters that hero, and I want to play him. And then and then the lanes then figure themselves out. It's never like, like sometimes it would be awful for me to pick an Earth Shaker to counter something, or it'd be awful for me to pick a Sand King to counter one specific hero, because Sand King gets so countered by 4 of their heroes. I'm only countering 1 while they're countering me 4 times over again. So that's kind of like the cloud that surrounds my picking habits, and I think my peers' picking habits as well. The people that are my skill level that. I want to play this, and I know that Ember's good against Chaos Knight. And so I'm going to play Ember offlane. And it's like, well, Ember, pretty far away from, it's hard. You're not going to get many last hits. You need to get those boots of travel up so you can go around. But it's not out of the ordinary to see an Ember offlane. It's not out of the ordinary to see a dual lane Ember offlane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've honestly, like, if you look at Ember Spirit, yes, he has a lot of, like, weaknesses to it. He has low armor and shit, but at the same time, Flame Guard is, when it's unpunished, if you have the ability to be aggressive with Ember Spirit, Flame Guard is like one of the highest damaging spells in the game if they can't afford to turn on you.
Yeah.
And he has a snare, a disable, and an ability to, like, dodge a projectile stun. So yeah, like there are plenty of heroes like Ember Spirit that can actually go aggressive in certain situations. Sure.
But when at my skill level, when I see an Ember go offlane, it's like, oh my god, what an idiot. That's a mid or safe lane hero.
Yeah, you wouldn't solo offlane, but yeah, like at a certain MMR, it would be pretty okay to, like, dual offlane with an Ember Spirit.
And it's just, yeah, in preparation for this, I did read a bunch of, very matter-of-fact articles on what should go where and how it should go. I read a lot of Wind Ranger being offlane, which apparently is not even a thing at all anymore.
No, God, yeah, that's like the instant I know that someone is just stupid as shit.
Why?
When they're like,
what's going on in your mind when you see a solo Wind Ranger?
So let's take it up a notch a little bit. So so when people are dual laning, we know that the lane is essentially just a 2v2, and then the safe lane. The natural structure of the safe lane leads it to be a little bit more suited to greedy heroes, and the off lane to, like, not greedy. And then we take that up and we say, okay, let's say you are capable of these maneuvers. Let's say you can be pulling, you can be rune controlling, you can be ganking, you can do all this shit. So that's when people start to try lane, because they say, okay, there's almost nothing I can do by adding another hero to the off lane. There's a lot I can do by adding another hero to the safe lane, just because you can do so much in the jungle. The mid lane is very important. So let's say you have free time. So, like, you, in particular, like the ambient laning phase, you want, like, 2 heroes there. Anymore, you're just kind of splitting your experience a bit too much. So you want 1 hero that's kind of going around doing whatever. Like, okay, so let's say you can't sack right now. Let's say it's not beneficial to pull. Maybe it's more beneficial to smoke and go mid and gank or something like that. Okay, so now we said, okay, so in general, there's enough space in Dota for you to have 2 heroes safely and ambiently, 1 hero in the mid lane ambiently, and then 1 hero in the off lane more or less ambiently, unless it's too hard. And then, someone can leave, it's, because it's not worth dying a shit ton. So it's not too uncommon to see someone, if off lane's too hard, they go to the jungle. So you have 3 heroes more or less in the safe lane, more like 2.5 because 1 is going around. What were we talking about again?
Honestly, what were we talking about, Denny? Because I was just, like, soaking that in, and it led me to it led me to a completely different question.
Oh, we were talking about what makes a hero an offlaner.
Yeah,
okay,
what makes a hero an offlaner?
How we got to the situation where the offlaners. Okay, so you have 3 heroes able to fucking kill the offlaner almost at all times. If you can't get a kill on the offlaner, then the second support, the 3rd hero in the safe lane, goes and does jungle shit, or etc. So if you have 3 heroes in the off lane waiting to kill you, that means one, the easiest thing is you need to be able to be useful in the lane, and that basically goes out to like 1, gets experience, 2, gets farm, 3, denies the enemy lane some amount of farm or experience, whether that be not letting the enemy offlaners be pulling and extracting jungle gold through the jungle, or not letting the enemy safe laner farm. And if we want to look at like what is the most like classic offlaner in the game, kind of clockwork, but the most classic high tier offlaner in the game is fucking Darkseer.
Okay.
Yeah, right. It's just Darkseer. So Darkseer puts Ion Shell.
Sense, yeah.
Yeah, and at level 1, like you can't really kill a creep very fast. And it's going to just chew through your wave, and the enemy level 1 Spectre can't, last hit while there's an Ion Shell ticking its health away, and shit like that. So, so Darkseer, so you need a hero that can deal with not getting killed very easily. Darkseer has Surge to run away very fast. They have an escape. It's a strength hero. It's naturally tanky. Not all strength heroes are naturally tanky, but Darkseer is naturally tanky. And then I'll say, also it's a strength hero, which in your mind, strength hero means it's tanky. That's not necessary.
Oftentimes it means it's weak.
Primary attribute is not their like largest. I really hate when everyone's like, it's a strength hero. Of course it's like that. Like, no, fuck you. Wisp is not. Fucking like Wisp and Sven are different fucking concepts. Let me fucking tell you.
But they work well together.
Magi, yeah.
They work well together. To get back to what I remember now is Wind Ranger. It was Wind Ranger. Why? Okay. So on this list on Dota2.gamepedia.com/lane, it gives 3 examples of offlaners: Darkseer, ding 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 ding, Wind Ranger, and Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter escape.
He can turn invisible at certain MMRs.
That's an escape. That is an escape, sir.
My level. I meant invincible.
If you can go invisible, you're good. Like,
no, you're right.
So long as you get invisible.
Okay, so this goes a little bit deeper. Once you get into team compositions, every team, for the most part, unless you're running something super specialized, which is like something you want to work out with your team ahead of time when you like know what you're playing with them, but you need like, one's kind of scaling hero. One hero that can help contribute a push, at least one hero that's able to deal damage to Roshan, at least one of your heroes needs to have some kind of like AoE ulti, some team fight attached to them. You want to have all your check boxes checked, and then that kind of creates its own meta. So if let's say you think of almost every offlaner like Tidehunter, Darkseer, Clockwork, or Sand King, all those heroes, they're all like initiators with big team fight ultis, Faceless Void, etc. So if you think about the big offlaners, they all have this big ultimate, or they're tanky, or they're the wall that does crazy shit. Even Timbersaw, maybe Timbersaw doesn't have initiation, but Timbersaw can just exist in your face, and then you have to attack them, and that's kind of like initiation.
So
then you think of Windrunner. What the fuck does Windrunner do?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Windrunner has a very, in my opinion, high skill stun. It's not easy. It's not it's not reliable, unless you're like, it's not
definitely not
reliable. I think the reason Wind Ranger, what is it? E? Is it because she can't take physical damage
of sorts?
Yeah,
true.
Her third ability allowing her to run with 100% evasion,
and then that
makes her a great offlane.
Last hit from very far away with her W. If she's against a dual lane, like she has a very strong auto attack animation, and she has okay damage, and she has good range, and she has an escape. So that's something. But what can she do that holds? So even if she can off lane, let's say she can stay in lane and get experience, she's never going to out farm 3 heroes fucking with her. Like maybe she'll do one auto attack and then press E and run away. She can't Iron Talon jungle.
Yeah, that's true.
But what is she gonna? So let's talk about Darkseer and Tidehunter. Faceless
Bounty
Void.
Hunter is so this is like the list.
So not Bounty Hunter. I'll go back to Bounty Hunter in a second. So you think about these heroes. What are these heroes' big items? Like, what do these heroes need to be effective? Basically, like mana boots. They would like to build a mechanism, but it's mostly just mana boots, blink dagger is what they need to be fucking like crazy insane, or nothing. I mean, a Tidehunter can press his teleport scroll for 50 gold, click on a lane, and if the enemies don't move away fast in time, like let's say they're ganking your tower and your Tidehunter just TPs in, a lot of the time, the only thing that's going to matter is that 50 gold he spent on the TP and his ability to press R, right? Like that's the thing that happens. You've been wiped by a Tidehunter who had 50 gold and then TP'd in and pressed R. Never been wiped by a Windrunner who had 50 gold and pressed R.
It's a really good point, but for the longest time, it was you would never consider a Wind Ranger safe laner. That's a mid or offlane hero, usually offlane. It's just it's weird to. And
I still wouldn't consider it a mid safe lane hero really, but.
And you can go to Underlord. Underlord makes sense in the offlane, right? Two AOE abilities.
Yeah, so it's a lot of it is you just fulfill that role. Like if everyone if your pub is going to pick a hero like your mid is going to be Invoker, someone who does some AoE damage but doesn't have very much control, and then your supports are going to be heroes like Lion and Vengeful Spirit, heroes that have stuns, and then your safe lane is going to be someone who just deals a lot of damage, and then your off laner is just going to be someone who has like big AoE teamfight control, right? Like you can basically slot almost any hero in those respective lanes that are famous into that particular like slot. AoE teamfight control, high damage safe laner, pretty decent mid game team fight damage in your mid lane and the ability to scale somewhat, and then you're good. But so let's say you take a hero like Slardar. Slardar doesn't have a big AoE team fight damage ulti. He just has like spammable stuns, kind of like a Lion. He has an impale basically just on his body.
He helps with Roche. That's
and he helps with Roche. That's certainly true. So like let's say so you have Slardar. So if you run Slardar, maybe it's just you need to get your big AoE teamfight ulti from somewhere else. So like let's say instead of Avenge, now you have like Disruptor or something. So if you have Slardar and you have your AoE, your quick instant, I'm doing a gank, I just need to elongate this stun chain, I use Slithering Crush off Slardar. Then I don't need an extra stun on my support, and then my support can do its AoE teamfight control thing. So we can extend to Windrunner. Say, okay, so if Windrunner is my offlaner, that means I need to get my AoE damage and like teamfight control, and like the person who's gonna like TP to a lane and totally turn around to gank from my mid. So like you'd want to run like Puck mid in that situation. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, because Puck gives you the AoE. So it's just going through the check boxes, and some off lanes don't need to have some of the boxes filled, but they don't necessarily have to have all of them. Your team does though.
Yeah, and you can look at that in mid lane too. So like let's say when like Arteezy mid started getting super popular.
Oh, we should save the mid. We should save the mid. I want to do an episode on mid lane, and I want to do an episode on safe lane.
Just real quick, babe. Real quick.
Okay, real quick.
So every team has like these certain slots. So let's say your carry is you're playing a mid lane carry, like you're playing Naga mid. Then that means you're gonna draft a safe laner who's not quite as like late game oriented. Like let's say you'll just play a Juggernaut as opposed to a Spectre, or an aggressive Slardar, or even like an Axe safe lane or something like that, or like Fear playing fucking a Bounty Hunter safe lane. So if you are going to play something that's different than the standard in that role, like if you're going to play an offlaner like Windrunner who isn't only going to need levels and going to contribute an AoE, team fight thing, then in general, you're going to want to get that somewhere else to still have a standard good team. If you want to hyper specialize in like mainly team fight or mainly pick off or mainly big cooldowns, that's a choice you have, but know that your team is going to have to play a different style of Dota than like standard Dota around it. And that's why Windrunner sucks, because it's only decent if you like play around it really, really well, and even then it's not very good.
Makes a lot of sense. It makes a ton of sense. So I have one quick question. I want you to be as concise as possible on. So pretend you're in a competitive game with your team, Hakuna Marana.
Oh God, we just lost.
You just lost. But
it's like it gets to 7K stack. I'm not stressed about it, but yeah, it's a good game. Not really. It was hard.
You're running, say, a safe lane with whatever, and it's a tri lane. And say you send a solo Sand King off lane. At what point do you decide, okay, that he needs to go to the jungle like this, and you give up the lane completely? Like what warrants that?
If they are not so there's a couple things. There's a couple reasons that you want to keep a hero in the offlane. It's to keep their supports locked down, because the second the Sand King leaves, their safe laner is going to get free farm, right? And if the safe laner is getting free farm, the supports, they might pull maybe, but for the most part they're just going to fuck off and gank your other lanes. And then you're going to be like aggro tri-laned against and have a jungler, and then they're going to have free farm while you're getting aggro tri-laned against, which is like, what the fuck? So at the point where the Sand King is doing almost nothing to control the supports, and the Sand King is getting no farm, and the Sand King is getting no XP. And that would be if the Sand King is going to die if they go into lane. If you're dying, you're giving more than you're getting. Like, you're not even getting, you're losing and giving. It's not even you're breaking even. You're just losing. So once it looks so, like, once you look at the lane and say, I will not be useful in this game, like, the hero's almost free farming anyways. I'm not stopping anything that's going on. You cannot rotate up to my lane to help me. The lane is lost. I will go to jungle.
Does this happen? Yeah. Would you say this happens before the 10-minute mark or after the 10-minute mark?
Way before. So the laning phase ends at about 8 minutes, honestly. At higher level Dota, I mean, like, you're still going to be in your lane more or less. It's like, you're not going to 5-man, but the notions of this is my lane that I'm going to die and then TP back to ends at about 8 minutes, kind of at the latest. It's more like, all right, at 8 minutes I found myself in this lane. There's not a reason for me to leave yet. Once it gets there, you want to be like leaving, and you want your supports to start rotating and all that shit.
Okay. Well, Proud, this is our first episode. I thought it went swimmingly. High five over the air.
Yeah, I would hit my mic, but that might sound bad.
Let's do it, though. Who cares? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Nice. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give the plugs. You can find us on twitch.tv/.ptv. It's me. I've been taking up like the daily while you're at work streaming. Ursi takes up the this is garbage streaming every once in a while. No, just joking. Ursi's stream is a blast to watch. We've given him shit, but guess what? We love that guy.
Oh my god, we watched him in one of our team practices, and Flub like asked him to do something in a team fight, and then fucking Sam just said on his stream, "I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna wait for the tome." But he said that on the stream, but not to us. So we're like, where were you in that fight? And then we watched him. We're like, he literally didn't even tell us that he wasn't gonna do this, and then we lost this fight because like.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny that he does that because I'll watch you guys stream and I'll hear like you guys' comms going on and be like, "Oh, that was
oh my god,
that was
that
this."
Got an attitude. Let me tell you about that boy.
You can find us on YouTube /.ptv1. You can find us at defenseofthepatients.com. For everybody that writes us saying, how do I get into the Discord? How do I play in the in-houses, which happen every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, you go to defenseofthepatients.com, and then there's a tab about our in-house, which explains the rules and has a nice little link for you to get right into our Discord, for you to bury yourself in the greatness that is the Defense of the Patients community, which has awesome people that are super welcoming. The transition is not an awkward one. We're not elitist. We're against all that bullshit. Just come play Dota, have fun. Don't be a dick. Just be nice, have fun. Win free money at the end of the season. Also, the survey at the top right of defenseofthepatients.com, that is going to help us get money. And money means a lot to Proud. Isn't that right, Proud?
Proud, yeah. Money and Proud, they go together like Proud and money.
Yeah, so I would really, really like, all you have to do is fill out a survey. It's completely anonymous. Go ahead and do it. Give us money to make things even better. Give us money so we can shave Proud's soul patch once and for all. I got it in on the episode.
I don't even... All right, just for the record, guys... I don't have it's just my beard is darker under my lip. I don't know what to tell you.
a few hues darker. Do you dye it? Do you dye your...
I don't know. I don't dye it. I'm already very skinny.
I don't dye... Oh, getting some quick punches in. You can find Proud at Proud Dota. On Twitter, you can find me at @p_Roland. Unfortunately, most of my tweets come out on @p_show, and I go
Flub
fuck
at Flub Dota with two B's.
At Flub Dota with two B's.
I just really wanted to interrupt you.
You can find him there. There's going to be new content coming out from Fafnir, which is going to be cool. It's going to be YouTube content, where Fafnir is going to go over some matchups. He's going to watch some plays. He's going to do some really cool things. Of course, Jay Gushi on our Defense of the Patients, he makes sure things are posted. He'll post about this. For all the hate threads I would direct you probably to Reddit to start the hate thread, our Defense of the Patients.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where the hate threads congregate.
Yeah, definitely go there. And above all, thank you for listening to the show. This is Roland for Proud saying, "Shut up,
Roland,
we know it,
what?
baby."
For what?
Oh man, that's my first
Roland
time
for
ever.
Proud.
This is Roland for Proud saying, "Shut up, we know it, baby."
What?
Futurama reference. I like it.
Oh yeah, no, I kind of get that.
You know,
one.
Bender. Bender says, "Shut up, I know it, baby."
Yeah, but just not like that.
What?
Shut up, baby, I know it.
This is Roland for Proud saying, "Shut up, baby."
Why is it
we know it.
Proud? What does that mean?
I don't know, Denny. Why is it for Proud? Why do you do that? You say this is Cyphus for Roland.
You're signing off on behalf of everybody.
Okay,
but you're not. You don't know me like that. I sign up for me.
This is me for us saying, "Shut up, baby. We know it."
Okay, we'll get something better later, dude. No, I was gonna start talking about. There's this like new band I'm really into, but don't worry about it.
Shut up, baby. We know it.
Okay.